think I did it.
Yay! Good on you, Suzanne. It's never too old to learn new tricks.
That's true.
I'm just going to, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in. And
Okay.
I'm going to dive right in and ask you, what was your reason for ditching the sugar?
Well, initially it was mostly to lose weight and also just my health. On and off during different weight loss programs, I had quit sugar. Quit it in my coffee and quit it in my iced tea and teas and things like that. But I was still drinking sodas now and again and still eating sugar and food. Didn't really pay much attention to sugar that was in food. I just didn't add sugar, and I didn't drink sugary drinks or juices and things like that. And that went on for a really long time. But in November of 2013, I quit sugar altogether.
Congratulations.
So I stopped drinking anything with sugar, and I also started watching labels. And so anything that had over 2 grams of sugar in it, any product with a label that had over 2 grams of sugar, I don't eat anymore. So there's a lot of things I don't eat because most processed food has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah, very true. So, so sorry, you said November, was that correct?
November of 2013, so it's been almost 2 years.
Oh, wow. That's a great achievement. Congratulations. So that leads me to ask you, how do you...
Thanks. It's really been worth it.
Yeah. Now I'd like to find out how that's changed your life. What benefits have you, received from doing that, and how do you feel? You must feel great.
Initially, the thing I noticed the most is that I had much better energy, which is funny because I think people think that sugar is big energy, but after you get unaddicted to it, you discover that it really is only a little bit of energy that knock you back down again. I also stopped eating most products with gluten in them, so I got rid of a lot of carbs too, which also basically manifests as sugar in your body too. So it wasn't just added sugars, it was most of the foods that have a high glycemic index at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, or that treat, that your body treats like they're sugar. They're pretty fast. So I found that my energy evened out a lot more. I stopped having those highs and lows. I stopped having that headache when you're too hungry because my blood sugars were more even. I didn't have any diabetes or pre-diabetes or anything like that, fortunately. But I did lose 100 pounds over the period of probably 10 months.
Wow. Congratulations.
So, yeah, I weighed almost 300 pounds, and I still want to lose some more weight, but I was a 4X, and now I'm a large or an extra large, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And primarily it was not eating sugar and not eating things that turn into sugar. Once they're in the body, like white flours and a lot of higher glycemic grains and rice and things like that. I still eat a little bit of rice. I still eat a little bit of potatoes, but I've really cut that down a lot. So no pasta, no white flour, none of that. So.
And how did you find navigating around all of that, Suzanne? Once personally, when I was diagnosed with leaky gut and I was told I had multiple food intolerances, that cut out 3/4 of the processed food that I was already eating, and I personally found it very difficult to navigate around cooking from scratch and whole foods and having that extra time to cook and all of those things. What was your experience like once you started cutting all those things out?
Well, it was also during the time when I started going to nutritional school to become a health coach myself. So, it was a really good time to kind of navigate that because I was learning all these new things, and so I had to kind of learn how to cook all these new things anyway, just sort of exploring them. So it actually was a really good time to do that. I eat really simply. I do eat meat. I do eat vegetables. I do eat some sort of starch. I have a pretty set diet of what I eat, which probably sounds boring to most people, but it's actually actually very pleasing. I change it up with spices. I have fruit and vegetables. I usually have a great big salad at lunch, and a hot meal usually at dinner, or sometimes it'll be a salad during the summer, or soup or whatever. But it's really simple, and it's not all generally mixed together. It's just I do vegetables, I do meat, I do fruit, and I just really don't miss the processed food at all. Mm. And it makes it really easy because if it's got a label, I just don't eat it.
Mm. Yeah, I totally resonate with everything you're saying. I just went really simple too. A lot of meat and veg, simple stuff. And I still eat really simple. And I don't miss it either. I don't even look at it. I watch people eat it, and I kind of can't fathom how they can, to be honest.
I never thought I would feel that way, because I wasn't a huge sugar eater. I take that back, really. Denial. It's an amazing thing. I drink a lot of soda. I drank a lot of soda. And I always had this attitude of, I'm not going to drink diet stuff. If I'm going to drink it, I'm going to drink the real thing. Right? And I had actually given that up before I saw the movie Set Up. I imagine you've seen it, but if I hadn't, I would have after that movie, because it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind to listen to the things that they were talking about how addictive sugar is.
I haven't seen that one, Suzanne. I know it's around, and I'll check that one out. But we've got, in Australia, we've just had a release of a movie called That Sugar Film, and it's very similar. It's a beautiful source of information about sugar, and it does open up your eyes to all of the problems that sugar causes. So we do have one of those circulating at the moment, but I'll definitely check out Fed Up as well as another resource. So, do you have a partner? Oh, sorry, that's it's called That Sugar Film. I'm not really sure if it's released in the US yet.
It may be, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a partner, Suzanne?
Yes, I do.
So, navigating around sugar, and how did that work for you and your partner?
Well, she's been really respectful. She eats sugar. She loves. She doesn't have a weight issue. She likes baked goods. We used every Sunday morning. We used to have a chocolate croissant. I mean, it was just like that was sort of the ritual with our coffee, It took me a little while for that to stop bothering me, but it really doesn't. Mm-hmm. And she's just been like, she doesn't always go and get one, but sometimes she does, and I just don't let it bother me. It was really weird, actually. Once I made the decision and I felt better, there was a period of about 2 months that there was a half a gallon of my favorite chocolate ice cream in the freezer. And I don't know, I don't know why nobody else is eating it anymore. I guess I was the one that ate most of it. It just didn't call to me anymore because it felt so much better. And the few times I did have sugar, I felt such a horrible crash that I'm like, God, this is just not worth it. And I know that I could get hooked back on it again if I kept going. So I guess we ended up throwing it out. I've always said, don't worry about it. I'm just not going to. But she if she gets chocolate, she puts it away somewhere. I don't know where it is. Mm-hmm. Chocolate was probably the hardest thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I discovered a chocolate pudding that I can have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is alternatives. Yeah.
Well, I don't do sugar free. A, I don't like the flavor of it, and B, I'm a homeopath, and so when I'm looking at how things affect the body, I do believe very strongly that sugar-free things, because they taste sweet, they go into the mouth, and the body starts to prepare for sugar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because that's the body's signal that there's sugar coming. And so all the insulin and all the pancreas and everything kicks up ready to digest sugar, and there's no sugar. And I think that causes a craving for sugar. I think it causes, look at, one of the things that they come out and set up is the huge, the childhood obesity. And part of that comes from, eating lots and lots and lots of carbs, eating lots of processed food, and they might drink a Diet Coke with it, but it's not stopping them from eating sugar in a lot of other places. And there is sugar in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Things you would never think of have sugar in them.
Yeah.
Which is why it's been easier to do because I'm not eating things with a label.
Yeah.
And I do have to be careful in restaurants. I ask. I say, I don't eat sugar. Is there sugar in this? Or I'll order something and I'll get the sauce or whatever on the side. And I don't tell them to not give it to me because that just confuses people. It'll end up on the dish.
Mm.
I could just ask for it on the side, and I know there's sugar in it, so I don't use it. So I've just kind of gotten used to that. But yeah, she's been really wonderful. She, like I said, she does have chocolate in the house now and again, but she hides it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'd even take it if I found it, because frankly, most chocolate is terrible. U.S. chocolate is just utterly horrible. And some European and some Australian and New Zealand chocolate is very good. I've had it. But I take 100% cocoa powder and I mash a banana and I mix them together. Mm. And it's totally, it's a banana. And so every once in a great while I'll treat myself to that because it's sort of like chocolate pudding. But because I do miss chocolate. Chocolate is, it's also good for you if you eat the 100% stuff. So
yeah. No, that's great. I also resonate with that as well, because I remember when I was quitting all of the things that the foods that I had to go off due to my intolerances, and I just added sugar in there. But I still eat, at the present time, I still have the maple syrup and stevia, things like that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was, and I relate, it was really difficult at the time to watch my boyfriend, who's also a diabetic, eat the sugary things. But I think that's part of, I'm starting to hear from other people's experiences as well, that it's part of the journey. When you quit something and someone you love is doing something that isn't helpful for their body, it's a process to accept that it's a decision you want to make, but it's not something that you can enforce on others. They have to make that in their own time. And there's a point where you feel so great that you just accept that, okay, I'm slowly influencing him anyway, because there's less junk in the house anyway for him to access.
Uh-huh.
But it's his journey, his process, and I can sit and watch him eat. He loves his chocolate after dinner and stuff like that, and I don't even blink an eye now. And sometimes it fascinates me that I'm in that place when before it used to bother me so much, But now it's just like it's all about what I feel, and you just let go. It just kind of comes. You don't even realise when it came. It just happens. One day you've let go.
And I feel so healthy that I know that sugar would make me crave stuff that even when I do occasionally, because there have been times, let's put it this way. Not too long ago, I took a trip by train, and so I was really limited in terms of my access to food because I didn't really bring enough food. And several times with the meal, there was like a dinner roll, which is something I normally wouldn't eat. But I ate it because I was hungry and there really wasn't enough food for me, and I, didn't get the big salad I wanted and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and I ate the dinner roll, and I got to say that it really made me crave sugar for a few days. It just really kind of threw me off and made me want to just grab a soda or something to fill that hole. I didn't, but, I can understand that that addiction, because it is.
Yeah.
Fed Up talks about a study that was done with mice, and they addicted them to cocaine, which, I hate animal stuff, but what can you say? So they addicted them to cocaine, and then they gave them the choice between cocaine and sugar water.
And they chose the sugar water.
40 out of 41 of them chose sugar water over cocaine as cocaine addicts.
Unreal.
So that tells me that it's a really addictive substance. Really addictive.
Yeah, they talk about that in our movie as well, and there's a lot of information about that there. Although, even though it's out there quite a bit at the moment, there's still a lot of people that don't realise just how addictive it is. But I don't think it's easy to recognise until you break that cycle. And then when you do break that cycle, all of a sudden you realise. And if you do, I feel if you do, like for me, I do eat a bit of cacao chocolate. Sometimes it's higher in sugar than probably need to, especially around that women time of the month. But I feel that I don't need as much as I used to. And then I'm over it a couple of days and I think, oh, that's enough, you know? And before when you're addicted, you can't do that. You just eat all the time.
No,
and you don't make those judgments for yourself. You just go into a blind haze of just eating. So yeah, I think
I do have an addictive personality. I mean, I totally know that. I was a smoker. I was a very heavy smoker when I smoked. I gave that up quite a few years ago, you know. So I do have that tendency. I was very overweight, so I was pretty addicted to food too. So, you know, I know I have that tendency, so I just don't want to go there again. And you know, it's astounding to me, even fruit sometimes is almost too sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your taste buds change too, don't you find?
Yeah, completely. Very much so.
All of a sudden, the things that you would eat, half a tub of, you can't do with that anymore. It's like 2 or 3 spoons, and you're just like, ugh, that's enough. That's yeah. And this is the place, being in this space now with food that I'm in after 2.5 years, and it's a journey. It's so liberating, and that's why we get so excited about sharing it. And it's, it's just such an important message, and I hope, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. I think I just want to close up with asking you, during that time, what do you feel was the most difficult part? Like what did you come up against? Either an event or something emotional, or just the fact that it was chocolate was just the most hardest thing to give up. Thinking back, what do you think was challenging?
Well, actually, it was interesting because I gave it up just before Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
And so the holidays came along really soon after that. And I didn't have too much trouble with that. I would honestly have to say the first time that really hit me was my stepdaughter's birthday. And historically, we would all go out to dinner, and then we would all come back to the house and all sit and have cake. And so there's a whole bunch of, and my birthday's a week afterwards. There's a whole bunch of us sitting there, and everybody's eating cake. And that was really the first time that I was really, placed in that situation where everybody's eating cake and I'm not. And I was feeling really sorry for myself. And my birthday is going to be next week, and I'm not going to eat cake either. I've actually never been a real big cake eater. I think I eat a pie of cake, but the notion that everybody was sitting there eating chocolate cake was really hard. And probably the other thing is that when you're with family or you're with friends who don't understand, and they're like, oh, well, it's a special occasion. You can, every day was a special occasion for me when I wanted to eat sugar. Any excuse would do. So special occasions might call for, a hip hooray, but it doesn't call for extra food for me anymore. But I have to say that her first birthday after I quit sugar was really the hardest one for me.
Yeah.
I sat there eating my piece of fruit or something, and I did eat it with a fork because it made it feel more like I was participating with everybody, but that one was really hard. And
now when somebody eats chocolate cake in front of you?
It totally doesn't bother me. I get out my fruit and I just enjoy my fruit. And in fact, for my birthday that year, my partner got me this thing called an edible arrangement, which is this beautiful arrangement of fruit done with sticks. It looks like a floral arrangement, but it's made out of fruit. And so every year for my birthday, that's what I get, and we munch on all this fruit that looks like flowers. It's really quite sweet.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I have a similar story. My moment was when we first went to the movies together, my partner and I. I used to love going to the movies, and they sell like a chop ice cream. So it's a little ice cream in a cone, and it's got chocolate on the top, and I usually get the choc mint one. And I loved those ice creams, and I really did love an ice cream. And so the first time we went, he ordered the ice cream, and I sat there, and that was my moment where I Yeah, hi, I'm back as well.
Oh, hi.
Skype's kicked us off.
I didn't know whether to call you back or not. Hi.
I was always here. I think it, yeah. Skype can be a bit funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll just close up because hang on, I'll turn